everyone, welcome back to Once Upon a Van Life. Today we're going to let you know where we went after we left New Brunswick in the fall. So after New Brunswick, we headed back into Quebec and visited some of the things that we had missed when we went through in the summer when it was like 40 degrees out and so hot. So this time we hit Quebec City and Old Quebec City, which was new for both of us. We went to Jacque Cartier National Park, which was really awesome, celebrated Halloween, dipped into Montreal, and then finished in Algonquin Park in Ontario before heading home for Christmas. So stick around to see all the fun.
All right, so after we went to New Brunswick, we came back. As we were making our way back home from Ontario, we stopped in Quebec City because we missed out on that earlier in the summer because it was too hot and we just shot past there. If you saw other videos, you know what we're talking about. But when we were there, we went to this place called, it was a waterfalls called Chutes de Montmorency. I believe that's what it's called.
Yes.
Sorry for butchering the French there. But we went there every morning and had breakfast and took him for a walk, and it was amazing. There was like a big suspension bridge you could walk around to the other side of the cliff where you could get like a front view of the waterfall.
Yeah,
and
these awesome lookouts. Yeah.
You could also walk down. We didn't do that because it was a little cold, but yeah, that was amazing. I got some pictures from that and lots of video from there too that I'll throw up. But I also thought was really cool was people like lived right across the street from there, and then that was like their morning walk, or about people walking their dogs, getting awesome views of the St. Lawrence
talk about
and everything.
A view, like unreal, just unreal. You could see the whole river, and like this waterfall wasn't like the waterfalls we have in Ontario, like 50, 60, 70 feet. This thing was like 300 feet.
Yeah,
like it was
amazing.
Massive.
So beautiful. It was right when it started to get cold too, so you know, we didn't go for that long, but
and there is like a gondola you can take across. Now this was off season, so which was good because parking was free, but most of the like stuff there was closed other than like the bathrooms. That was the only thing that was open. But man, talk about a lovely way to start your day each morning.
Yeah. And then after that, so we went to Old Quebec City, which was beautiful. Sam will tell you about that.
Yeah, that was new for both of us. Neither of us had been to Old Quebec City before. We'd done Montreal, but never Quebec City. And it was like being in Europe, like all these steep roads and little alleyways and shops and bakeries. We went to this amazing bakery that was actually recommended to us from someone off Instagram called Pillard. And oh my gosh, the bread and the danishes, the croissants are like world renowned. I didn't have a croissant, but Josh did, and we even have pictures of that.
It was amazing.
It was so good. We took pictures of the food, which we are not usually those people, to be completely honest. Hendrix was the life of the party. I left Josh for 10 minutes outside to go into the bakery, and 3 people took pictures with him on the street.
People were stopping and they want to take pictures with him, you know, like as usual, he's the star, but there's so many people, and he does so good now, like the fact that we can just like go to a busy part of towns and stuff and just be able to walk around and stuff. Yeah, and like lots of like all the old buildings, you're right, look like Europe. Like,
yeah, it reminded me of when we went to
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam
And everything.
Yeah,
it's just a very nostalgic feeling, and they have all the walls that they built like 100 150 years ago that was with the battle
part of the war.
Yeah, that was very, very cool.
And cool monuments, and again like a beautiful lookout that you could walk along that looked out over the river. Just unreal. Yeah. So gorgeous. One of the places we were like, oh, I could live here if I could speak French, because we still think it'd be really hard to get a job not being bilingual, but incredible, just incredibly beautiful. I highly recommend it. If you have not been to Old Quebec City, it's a gem that is just sitting there to be explored.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're at the Plains of Abraham in Old Quebec City. Crazy, super nice view.
Rainy, but still nice.
Right, Hendrix? He's like, whatever, I'm just hungry.
So the next thing we did was we went to Jacque Cartier National Park, and just a little disclaimer because we didn't know either. In Quebec, their national parks are not actually covered with your National Parks Pass of Canada that we have. They call them national parks. They're actually provincial parks. It's a whole thing. But anyway, you do need to pay separately to get in, but man, is it well worth it. We hiked about a 5 kilometer trail and it went straight up a mountain and straight back down. But the views, oh, it is the most beautiful park. You are driving out of the city, out of Quebec, and you start going towards the mountains. And before you know it, like you're just submerged in the mountains. And this park was amazing, eh, babe?
It was awesome. Like that was one of my favorite things about Quebec City was I didn't realize from the city you could see the mountains. And when we went there, it was beautiful. Like it reminded me of like kind of the West Coast, East Coast kind of mixed together. I really want to go. I hope we can go camping there because we didn't get to. It was off season, but yeah, the
Because
trail.
this was like November, early
The trail
November.
we went on was holy cow. It was awesome. Like literally, it was like an hour up a mountain. This guy crushed it. Like he just didn't stop. We kept taking breaks. And he's like, nope, let's keep going. And Sam and I are like, okay, bud, but like we need to take a break. Like, you know, drinking water and taking pictures and just taking it all in.
There was all these little lookouts as you climbed
amazing.
up the mountain, and
Yeah.
they were the best views. There was a river running through the park. Oh,
it was amazing. It was some of the most best hiking I've done to date. And yeah, it was just like something that I think if you go to Quebec City and you like hiking and camping, make sure you check out Jacque Cartier
breathtaking.
Park.
And it's only like 40 minutes from the city. It's so
maybe
close.
not even. Like honestly, when you're driving out to it, it's like, oh, this is literally just outside the city, which I think if you live there would be a very, very cool thing that you could just go do that and come back. Lots of skiing and stuff out there too, but
breathtaking.
Jacque Cartier Park is awesome.
So after Quebec City, we headed back to Montreal to visit a friend. We wanted to go back to Mount Royal. Now, unfortunately, it is about 20 minutes after we got there, I sprained my ankle. So that kind of put a damper on Montreal. So we don't have a ton of footage from our second trip through Montreal. We did a lot of thrifting. If you like to thrift, there are so many value villages and Salvation Armies in that area. And we ate some really good food again and visited, but we kind of moved on from there pretty quickly. We just spent the weekend there. And we headed to a cabin, which was unreal. It was in the Mount Laurier area, which is just west of Mount Tremblant, about an hour west. We had been to a cabin a few years ago up in that area and really enjoyed it. And man, we got a really good deal.
The view was amazing. It was right on Lake Lefebvre or something like that.
Yeah, Lefebvre, I believe.
And just every day you just wake up and you're like, oh, you're very isolated. But man, it was really, really nice. The only thing,
Mountains.
it was like hunting season, so it was kind of hard to take him for a walk anywhere because he looks like a deer, so you don't really want to just walk around.
And we could literally
in the forest.
hear gunshots in the background, like when you were sitting outside or
Yeah.
if you were in the kitchen. Yeah, and hunters walking with their rifles up and down the laneway going hunting. So we didn't do a lot of walking because again, I was a little hung up there with my ankle, but. Man, it was really nice.
It was
babe?
nice. So we were kind of at that point starting to head back home for Christmas.
This was
in
mid to
Cambridge.
late November.
And so what we figured is on the way back home, we went through Ottawa and then we went to Algonquin Park to do some winter camping.
Yeah, Mew Lake, which is awesome. It's open all year, guys, and they not only allow camping, they also have yurts. So if you're ever interested, it's a cool winter camping experience.
It was very cool. I'd never been winter camping before. I mean, we were in our camper, so we had a
Glamping.
heater. Yeah, we had a heater. We had power. It was really cold though, like super cold.
It was the first snow we had encountered. We'd actually made it all the way through Montreal, Quebec City with just a few flurries around Halloween, and we got there the first day in the rain and got up the second morning, and Hendrix was in his heyday. We were covered in snow, like at least an inch or two had come down overnight.
But it was a really nice campground just to walk around, and surprisingly there was a lot more people than I thought was going to be there. There was people that had a lot of like winter tents were very cool. It had like little wood stove.
Yeah, wood stove with like a pipe coming out of the canvas tent.
Some people just went all out, and then some people were just literally either slept in their truck, which like I guess they had a heater, or they just slept in like the regular tents, which I guess you somehow had a heater. Like I said, every site had power, so
they did have extension cords running to the tents.
You could feed a heater, cord in for a heater, but
or a heated blanket. I was thinking maybe some people were using, but man, it was a whole new experience. We had been there in July at like high season where there was like thousands and thousands of people, like so many people, and to go back in the winter and be one of like 12 campsites in the whole park that had people was a really cool experience.
It was like night and day from when we went there before, which was probably like 3 or 4 months before when we went camping. We only went to one other like trail that we did to walk there, just because Sam's ankle was still healing. So
I was
we didn't want
just
to
starting to hike and walk again. Yeah.
So we did go for a little walk around this like little museum trail, which was pretty cool. But
it was like the logging museum. It's really neat. Actually, if you have kids, they would super enjoy walking around. It was cool.
Very cold, so it's kind of good that it's just like a half an hour walk, because you don't want to be outside too long. We did have a fire too.
One afternoon, that was pretty good. Even though it was about -10, we just put our snowsuits on and out we went.
But yeah, Mule Lake winter camping. Probably not for definitely liked it. I'd definitely go back there.
We really wanted to see a moose. We still have yet to see a moose. We've traveled all the way across Canada and we've never seen a moose yet. We'll get one. We'll get a shot of a moose someday. But yeah, very beautiful, whole new experience, because the lake was just frozen and covered in snow. And like I said, when we'd been there before, it was summer, so there was just people swimming and kayaking and canoeing, and oh man, it was cool. It was a really neat new experience.
Alright guys, so of course we have another story from the road, and this is from when we went to Quebec City. We found a campground that was in Thetford Mines, which is about an hour away from there, and it was Halloween, which the story's kind of fitting that this goes with this. But so we spent Halloween at this campground. It was okay. We put a pumpkin, Sam carved a pumpkin and put it out front. You know, we love Halloween, so
had some treats, watched some horror movies.
We had to celebrate in our way. So we decided we were going to go for a hike a couple days after Halloween, and we were going to go to Frontenac Park, and we drive like 45 minutes. We have to go all the way around this lake. We get there, and literally, like, we drive in, and there's a giant sign that says,
like 10 foot tall,
no dogs allowed. And we're like
a big red thing with a dog.
Yeah, it was like Ghostbusters with the dog, right? Like, literally, that's what it looked like. So we were kind of disappointed about that. And this guy, we had driven for like 45 minutes, and he was PO'd about that. And we were like, all right, man. And on the way there, we had seen this little town called Disrael, I think it's called.
Yeah, Disrael.
And it had a park where it said, like, we'd noticed it said dogs welcome, so we were like, let's just go back there. So we drive
They also
back.
had overnight RV parking spots at this little parking lot in Trailhead, which had caught our attention on the way by.
So that's kind of why we went back. So we go back, we park, we get the dog out, and we see this trail. We start walking through this trail, and I know I did post this on Instagram, so you guys will kind of know, but we wanted to go in a little bit more to this, because when we're walking, there's just like all these dolls and toys all stuck to the trees and tied to the trees and hanging from the trees, like
It was
Cabbage
creepy.
Patch dolls. There was a
Big Raggedy Ann.
a big Raggedy Ann. There was a Woody Woodpecker little stuffy there.
And we're not talking like 10. Like,
No,
we're talking
filled.
like 1,500 stuffed
Yeah, like
animals.
we walked for like half an hour through all these trails, and they were just everywhere. And there was
Yeah.
no signs in French or anything that explained
Explained
it. We tried to Google it.
Couldn't find anything.
There was nothing. We were like made the story up that like a child had unfortunately died there, and they're trying to do like a celebration or something. But
we like to make up backstories for things that don't have them. Don't ask.
And like the creepiest thing, there's this little like bee with like a baby face on it, and like
a paper mache woman with like snakes coming out
was
of her.
wild. It was wild.
Creepy. It was like voodoo-y. It was really creepy. And being the week of Halloween, I think it creeped us out even more.
Yeah, it was like cool, but it was also like, this is weird. And like the other thing that was funny was like we saw like other people walking around, and they're just walking around like
this isn't there. Like,
yeah,
this is completely
not
normal.
bothering it. Now obviously they're from that town and they speak French, so they probably know what was happening. So we're pretty like kind of deep in Quebec too, so the language barrier is not great for us since we don't speak too good of French.
Yes,
but
we did figure out how to order coffee in French while we were there. But yeah, it was a really weird place, and we had just stumbled upon it. We've got loads of pictures, so we'll make sure those are up for you guys. But creepy, strange, cool, all at the same time. I can't even explain it. And they hadn't been there long. Like, some of these stuffed animals weren't even sun bleached yet.
Yeah.
So like
That's
within the
what we
last
thought, yeah.
month, some of these had been put up. Some of them had been there longer, but some of them were really new. The other thing that was really cool is there was this like carved tree with this face in it, which I also have a photo of, and we'll put that up too. It was really beautiful, and it was kind of like weird to be in with all of these weird stuffed animals. There was a whole tree of monkeys.
Yeah.
It was like nothing I've ever seen before, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and it was definitely a story from the road.
Folks, that's another episode of Once Upon a Van Life. If you can like, subscribe, click that little bell so you get notifications when our new episodes come out. And I'll let you know, next up is us traveling across Canada in January, all the way out to BC where we're sitting right now. So that was an adventure in itself. Beautiful. Can't wait to show you guys. So until next time, thanks a lot. See you later.